This is David Carroll, and I want to show you how to install the BVCMS application to your own computer and be able to do some development on it or whatever you want for your church. This is a clean install of Windows 10, and also if you look at my start menu here, you'll see that I've got VisualStudio already installed. Haven't used it yet. This is SqlServer Management Studio, and I haven't used that. And here's GitHub, and I haven't used any of these. They're just fresh, clean installs on all three of those things. Now, let's take a look at the database real quick because I want to show you that it's empty. There's no databases in it right now. So this is SqlServer 2012. We connect to it, and if I open up the databases, you'll see there are no databases installed at this point. So I want to make this go away down here, and the first thing I want to do is go to the website where BVCMS repository is located. So I'm starting out on the Touchpoint Software website, touchpointsoftware.com. And if I scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see on the bottom this GitHub repository. So I'm going to click that link, and this is going to take me to GitHub. And I'm already logged in here. It's important that you log in with your account on here because it's going to enable some things that you wouldn't have otherwise. Of course, you could just download the zip, but I want to show you a better way of doing this that'll keep you up to date with any new changes we have in source. We make changes every week, but this is the developer quick start guide, shows you how to install everything. This number 4, you don't have to do this if you are doing a fresh install of everything. So this will come with it automatically. So it says if not already installed, so don't worry about that. Okay, so this little download button, if I hover over it, you can see it says save BVCMS to your computer and use it in the GitHub desktop. That's exactly what I want to do. So I click on that, and it says, do I want to switch apps to GitHub? And I say yes. And so this is going to load up the GitHub desktop program, and it's asking me where I want to install it. I'll take the default, which is in my documents directory under a directory called GitHub. And so it begins to clone the database now. Now this usually takes about a minute to do. I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, it's almost done. And here we are. It's loaded the repository. And so now what we want to do is open this code up into Visual Studio. So I'm going to make these go away and bring up Visual Studio. And this is a brand new install of Visual Studio. It hasn't loaded the project yet. So I'm going to say open a project. In here, so I'm going to navigate to where it said that it loaded that project under My Documents, GitHub, BVCMS, and then down here is the CMS Web solution file. That's the, if I hover over this, you can see it's the Microsoft Visual Studio solution for CMS Web. So I'm opening that, and the first thing it's going to do is to install some utilities that are necessary for Visual Studio. And those are the Bower install. It says things like npm and gulp and Bower. These are just command line tools that are for package management. And it'll take about a minute to load those as well. So I'll be back again. Okay, so that's done. And if I go down to CMS Web, I want to modify the web config file. This is the configuration that allows us to choose where the database is located and what the name of the database will be. It's under App Settings, this little section right here in the configuration. And the last two down here are DB Server and Host. And so the DB Server in this case is going to be SQL Express because that's what I installed on this one. That's the free version of SqlServer. And I'll paste that in here for this DB Server. And let's call the database whatever you might be calling it for your church. I'm going to call it Hope Church, and then I'm ready to run this thing. So when I run it, it's going to begin installing all the NuGet packages. These are open source library packages that are requirements or dependencies. We have a dependency on those in BVCMS. It doesn't take very long to load those. Once they're loaded, it'll begin to start the application, and you'll see the browser come up in just a moment. We'll wait for that. So this is a first-time build of it, so it takes a little while to build it the first time. And it's going to localhost whatever this port number is. I'll have to show you something else about that when I'm done. And that's actually building the database. It's creating the database for the first time, because you noticed that there were no databases in the SQL Server Management Studio before, and now there will be databases. So you see there's no databases in here, and I didn't know I had two of these opened up. No databases in here right now, and when it's done, actually it's loaded it up. So it's built the database at this point. So go back to SQL Server Management Studio, and I refresh this list of databases, and you'll see that it created CMS_Hope Church, CMSI_Hope Church, and ELMA. This is our error reporting database that's used for when there are errors. It loads them into this database so you can keep track of those. But this is the main database for all of your people records and contribution records and attendance records, organizations, and things like that. This is only for the images, the pictures you take or upload into the system there. So that's the database. So the database is already created for you. And all we need to do now is just to log in. Admin is the username for the default admin. You can change these if you like after you get in. And BVCMS is the initial password in here, so that should let me in. No, I don't want to save this one because I'm going to change that password now. I'm going to change it to, I got to put in the current password. So BVCMS is the current password, and the new password can be whatever you want. I'll put in mine. And so now chat's password has been changed. When I click return to home, this will take me to the home page for the first time on this machine. And here we are at the home page. If I go people find, you can see that we've got 3 people records in here, myself and Karen and the admin. That's the one I'm logged in as right now, admin. And you'll be able to see organizations and things like that. Okay, now there's one, remember I told you about this URL here, this 516, this local host and so forth. If I want to continue using that number, which was a random number that Visual Studio picked up for me, then I can go here, and also under app settings, you see this CMS host is localhost :8888. Just change that 888 to be whatever that number that it came in as, or you can change the way this thing loads up so that it uses 8888. And the way you do that is you go to the Solution Explorer, right-click on Properties, actually double-click Properties under CMS Web, and it will bring up the configuration file. And under Web, scroll down, you'll see that this project URL is localhost. That's the number it picked for me. That's where I can change that to 8888 if you like that, and it'll work from there. That's it. It's up to you now to begin loading your database and so forth. We recommend that you go to the web, to our documentation. In fact, let me show you the documentation. So we're here on the documentation page. If you go help, this takes you to this documentation. You can search the documentation right here and get answers right here within the application, or you can go straight to the documentation website and get to the home page here and see all kinds of stuff about that. I think it's over 500 and some odd pages worth of documentation, just tons of stuff you can find out about in here. And then we've also got a YouTube website, and so let me go to the YouTube site. So this is our YouTube site, youtube.com/user/bvcmscom in here. And tons of training videos and YouTube information that you'll have. Good luck with this. If you'd like to become a client of ours, and we will handle all this software for you, all your backups, do all your training, your support, and all that for you for a nice low fee. Go ahead and sign up for it on our website, and we'll be glad to have you there. Otherwise, you're on your own. Hope this works for you. Take care. God bless.